Hi, everybody. Welcome into the room. Welcome in. Wonderful to have you here. Great to see you. Welcome to Angel Radio Tarot. I'm Cece, your host. It's wonderful to have you here. This is what I get for being efficient. I'm late coming into my own call out here. Wonderful to have you all here. If you're new to the channel, consider a subscription. Consider a membership, but subscribe to get in the chat here. I'm going to be changing the settings in just a second. And there we go. So in just a few minutes here, it's going to be subscribe to get in the chat. It's a freaking thing today. Here we go. It's a whole thing. So, holy crap. I got 2 new decks of cards today. I love rummaging, and one of the places I go to is a Habitat for Humanity restore, and they had these there, so we're going to be unboxing 2 new decks of cards. They're put out by Doreen Virtue and Melissa Virtue. They're Angel Dreams and then Messages from Your Angels. And they look brand new. I don't know if the store had them there, but these look like they've never been turned at all. I don't know if they're full, or I haven't counted the cards to make sure they're here, if these were secondhand. There's one card stuck in the bottom. Oh, there's more than one stuck in the bottom. That's why I told them I hardly ever keep the box. Unless it's like a fancy box. You guys know I'm a sucker for a well-made box. Yeah, I guess that... Yeah, see, this deck feels like it's short. It felt like it when I picked it up. But we'll still... They might just be thinner cards. I don't know. That doesn't look like 44, but we'll see. Oh, these are fancy. Look at the shiny edge. I like that. So it could be. These are pretty thick cards. These are nice. They're super shiny. High gloss. They're real thick. They're not too thick. I do like the gilding. That's nice. Let's get our settings here. We're going to light a candle. If I can get that. Good grief. Here we go. Get a candle. There we go. Moved my potted palm. I usually just dive that right into the dirt. Let's see. And then get everybody up here. On the same page. What is that? I'll have to throw these and see what happens. So, we're perilously close to having the subscription set here. Let everybody get into the room. I noticed the other day, like the first 2 or 3 seconds of my read, it wasn't even on the recorder. Like it didn't pick up until about 6 or 7 seconds in. Look, y'all, the title of our reading today, Normalize, talking down to people who are playing in your face. I went to the gas station today in habit with my dirt bike on the back, and this freaking boomer got all tickled about seeing a nun with a freaking motorcycle and wanted to get in my face and just like talk stupid shit, like not talk mean to me, but he just totally condescending. And he was like, "Is that your bike? Is that really yours?" And I was like, first thing, don't fucking walk up on a broad at the gas station when she's trying to pump gas by herself? Are you fucking crazy? No, I'm not going to be really fucking receptive to some dude walking up wanting to start a conversation at the gas pump. Unless you fucking work there. There we go. And then he wants to like razz me about having the motorcycle. And he's like, oh, they let you ride that? And I looked at his freaking Subaru. And I looked at him and I was already like, and I said, is that yours? They let you drive that? And then I said, aren't you getting a little old for that? And then he tried to keep the conversation going, like, what do you mean? What do you mean? Oh, and then asking me the same question over and over. I just ignored him, pumped my gas, kept my head down, and he eventually just like bumbled himself out of like, because I said something and threw him. And it's not even about that I had to insult him. It's that I took command of the conversation and talked to him like the petty little child he was being. And these are the same people I grew up with them saying, well, if you act like an adult, we treat you like one. Well, if you didn't act like you were freaking cognitively incapacitated, I wouldn't treat you like you were. Yeah, take me back to some Mike Tyson days when you could pop a bitch in the mouth for saying stupid shit in your face. What are these new cards telling us? Please come in and enjoy the room. Consider a membership today. I'm Cece, Angel Radio Tarot. Great to have you here. There we go. So we've got 3 on 3. Thanks for telling me where you're from. Hi, you Aim Sutton from India. And it's Kana Universe. Hi, thank you. Welcome into the room. Let what resonate. It's a general reading, so let what resonate lay with you, and let the rest move on for someone else to enjoy. And stick around to the top of the hour. We'll save room for one lucky chat room subscriber. We'll get their question answered. Please enter your question just once, or I'll have to assume you're a bot, and I'll block you. Please keep it nice and clean in the chat room. Let me know you love me by getting in the super chat. Put your question in there, and we'll for sure get your question answered sometime during the read. If you want a dedicated read, you can stick around past the top of the hour, and with your $40 super chat, we'll get a 20-minute dedicated during the live stream question answered. If you're watching this after the live stream has been broadcasted, get in the chat and let me know what's going on with you. Slide the comments over to the side and hit that hype button. Y'all hit that notification bell too. And thank you for all the love. Look at that. See, all of that and every time you comment helps the algorithm on the channel. And whenever you contribute through super chats, that keeps me going on this end. And all of it helps. Every time every one of you subscribes, that grows the channel even more. We just crossed over 2,100 subscribers in it's been like 8 months. It's been amazing. Let's see. Transformation. See, I'm not familiar with these cards right off the bat, so we'll discover these together. I'm going right off of the words here. Dragonfly, fairies, and nettle. I'm going to have to get on a whole different vibe for this. Travel, blue, and new waxing moon. So there's a new blue moon coming that's going to bring a huge transition. When is the next blue moon? We're moving into like a cosmological forecast here, like we're doing a weather. We're going to look into this new cosmic reference here. When is the next Blue moon, blue moon. Without a love of my own. Let's see, it's a seasonal blue moon, the third full moon in an astronomical season that has 4 full moons. Monthly blue moon is the modern definition, the second full moon in a single calendar month. The next blue moon will appear on December 31st in 2028. So there's something coming up. Okay, so when was the last blue moon? Oh, May 31st. We just had one. Yeah. I figured if it was that far out, we must have just... The last blue moon occurred on May 31st. Let's see. March would have been solstice. April, May. We're in June. So it was just 6 weeks ago. 6 weeks is significant. So 6 weeks ago, it was the second full moon to happen within a single calendar month. Yeah, that's the monthly blue moon. Yep, because the lunar cycle takes 29 and a half days to complete. Having 2 full moons in a single month only happens every 2 to 3 years. Yeah. The last seasonal blue moon we had was August the 19th on 2024, but the last monthly, like the last 2 moons in the same month, 2 full moons in the same month, was just at the end of May. So my ladies, hearken back to any kind of cyclic swings, cyclic extremes, or cyclic anomalies that you may have experienced during that moon, whenever your cycle landed, but in that upcoming up to May 31st. And mostly what I want you to focus on is any stark differences you would have noticed immediately following. So if you were reaching into a crescendo, it wouldn't seem like an anomaly until it peaked and crashed. And then it's after the event happened that you would notice the significant change. And that would seem like the significant date. But what I want you to focus on is anything working up to the 31st. And think about what was building up to that anomalous event. So there was some travel about a lifting. There was a lifting here. So some of you found 6 weeks ago, because we are on the 16th, 6 weeks ago, a significant shift in astronomical travel occurred. You dumped a timeline. We had a timeline split at that blue moon. There was a perceivable shearing of realities. So this dragonfly, fairies, and nettle here, many of you have gotten back into your natural season. That, of course, we're talking May 31st. Everybody's jumping back outside again. And then this whimsical taking flight kind of in the greens and not in the buds so much. We're talking about environmental transformation with boundaries, magical transformations, enchanted environmental boundaries. Wow. It may have felt like you made a time split. This is what we were talking about, describing the build-up and the crescendo and the anomalous event. The anomalous event was perceived as, oh shit, we're in a different timeline. How we got there was what happened immediately prior to that. And it was this, there was a massive shift in the amount of basically spiritual secret service. You got a massive upgrade in magical foundational boundaries, cloaking device, not a singular kind of tool in the tool chest, more of absolutely just like access to a whole other level of elemental manipulation that you applied across everything. And it required a flavor, that flavor applied to this in its specific need, to this in its specific need. It's more telling to something that happened to your ability to express your style. You were up, there is evidence of you applying and basically secreting your aura on everything around you 6 weeks ago. That shift happened. Something happened 6 weeks ago. You exposed yourself and your aura and your energy, and it got leaked out onto another environment that previously it didn't exist. And it was like you sprinkled fairy dust on stuff. You were oozing fairy dust. It could have been in the form of pheromones. It could have been in the form of just aura glow, transforming people, healing people by degrees on that front sunny side, on that you facing side of them. And so they were able to track your passage based on this trail of healing that has occurred. I get the feeling that this was just, get the feeling. I'm making the observation here that spiritual secretion, and again, it's like a snail with you can see where it's been, ectoplasm of a spiritual entity. You leave evidence of yourself in your wake. And when we crossed that threshold the other day, it was, what a joy to not leave a wake of destruction, because we know very well what that looks like. We know very well what that looks like. Well, Flower Girl, we're doing a general reading here, and I'm trialing 2 new decks here. I just got these 2. I thrifted. So this is my first time with these, and we're coming in for a general reading for the high vibe tribe vibrating on this particular frequency. Welcome in. Welcome in. So we'll be tuning in this frequency. It is angel radio, and we'll be going up and down the dial with several different styles of inquiry. And let what resonate fall with you. And if it doesn't, leave it there for someone else to enjoy. And I always encourage you to come back and thank you so much. Thank you for that sticker. Come back and read, or, watch previous live streams and let those readings fill in some detail now that you have corporeal, like time has gone by and you've got the deeds on the drama. Now you can go back and watch old readings and see how that resonated with what you now have a framework for, and you can validate that. You can calibrate your intuition that way. So then whenever you're listening to readings or watching readings, and it happens for me that I have several readers that I watch. I have half a dozen that I watch, and they all vibe on slightly different frequencies in different areas, different aspects, and different points of view on sometimes the same and sometimes completely unrelated events in my life, but they're all centered around. And you'll know if this is your framework. Don't try to force it. Just relax, let it go on. And for me, the experience is, if it doesn't resonate with me right now, it's because it's going on in my house, and I come back in a couple of days and go, something will happen. Oh, yeah, that's confirmation. That's what they were talking about. It was something that is occurring that you haven't yet experienced, and so it's moving around you, and it's that first heads up so that when you see it, it's not the first time it bings in your head. It's divine giving you a marker, a placeholder. It's giving you a flag, a little pin a little flag here. So the crystal card here, have faith and hope because there's something positive and new on the horizon that you can't yet see. Archangel Uriel was sitting on the side. I hadn't looked at the green or at these other cards yet. So Archangel Uriel is representing this, watching over the situation. Your emotions are healing, which enables you to open to a greater love. And Archangel Uriel will help you release anger and unforgiveness from your heart and mind. Now, my high vibe tribe here, you will experience as you are getting closer to closing a cycle with a karmic. And boy, they can be whoppers. I never imagined this particular one would be just a karmic. It was such a huge, sweeping influence over my life. I never considered them as just a karmic. Boy, I thought I had that sense of attachment managed and approached. Like I thought I had addressed that. Wow, okay. No taken. So what was happening with this karmic is that every time we'll get closer and closer to closing the cycle, that will come when they make their final move. The closer they get to you to make their final move, the more sensitive and reactive and almost like you will be adopting their behavior. Like for me, my polar opposite is extremely wicked. Wicked in the extreme. Wicked to the degree where he doesn't even know that he's wicked because it feels so right. Every time that person, then they've been stalking me for 30 years. And every time they get within proximity, I have an overwhelming urge to do wickedness. And it's because of the empathic link. And you have got to know your character, know yourself. When you start acting out of character and it feels good. When you finally, now it's no, it's not your turn. It is not your turn. It is simply a matter of every time they bring them in, you have to come in too. And it's just proximity. I know the consequences of indulging your enemy's empathic embrace. But it doesn't bring the cycle any closer to close. It just creates another internal karmic wheel inside the cycle. And you gotta run that course of all that shit. And that could take however long. And what you've got to be able to do, we've been talking about this for a while, is welcome those demons to your foot. Bring them close to the hem of your skirt. Bring them up. They don't have to touch you. You can stay right the fuck there. You stay right the fuck there. You can stop right there. Now speak. There is this karmic interlock where they have to have their turn of truth and reconciliation after you lambasted them and cut them out. They will not stop until they are satisfied with closure. And that is the end of the cycle. And it simply the cycle will not close until you can tolerate receiving their closure. There is an empty space here between this. This is what is that? Not the moon. Yeah, this is giving the moon card in tarot. You're not meant to know what's on the other side of that. I feel that you are extremely resistant to receiving anything this person has to say. That boundary was it was locked down. And it created this big jump, this big separation that is forcing whoever this is to come to you, because they simply cannot access you on that other frequency anymore. They just don't have access to you anymore. They can't observe you. They can't feel you. That's the worst of it. They can't even feel you anymore. Something's happened where they're almost, they're dreaming. There's a lot of, yeah. I got my big dream visitor last night. Yep. Projected himself as Tom Cruise. Yep. Silly stuff. Because that is my projector's ideal of the perfect man. I have never in my life dreamed about Tom Cruise. But that was a projection, a direct projection. So you might be getting projections. If you're on this frequency, then you're all, this is our higher vibing tribe. We are all experiencing a cycle of this formation in some part of our lives. Keep charging ahead. And hear the unicorn. Oh my God. I'm dying here. This is how they see you. We're getting a bit of like a Celtic cross. Yeah. This is how they see you. This is how you're viewed. This card's really dark. I don't know if you, we'll try to get, there you go. So you can see it's the unicorn. It's the unicorn. You're the freaking unicorn. You're their unicorn. This is hilarious. Hilarious. I have been called the unicorn by more than one tribe. Keep charging ahead and don't take no for an answer. Expect miraculous solutions to appear. And that's really the mode, is that you move with the expectation of, it's no longer like a excitable marvel to you, like a hyper event. It's normal for you now. It's just normal for you now. You're awake. You're all the way awake. You may drift off into modes of entertainment from now and then, but it is the weight of the light worker that you don't get to turn it off. You don't get to turn it off, and all of the supernatural world is aware of you being on the playing field. And the more juice you got, the more attention you're going to get. And there's just not, what the only retreat is to put your head back in the sand and turn yourself off and become an NPC. And you're going to have to use and abuse yourself to be able to do that. Someone here has been using in order to turn off the connection. Because when they're not using, it's on 24/7. They can't turn it off. They're like the Umbrella Academy, the guy that if he wasn't totally stoned all the time, they were always talking because he could hear everybody's prayers. All the spirits figured out that he was the one guy that could see all of them. And so this person, whoever is coming to, maybe you're the one that has to use to be able to turn it off. Something here where, however you live naturally, whatever your natural state is, wherever you're most comfortable, whether you smoke pot every day and that's your mode and that's your frequency that you're on all the time, and, or like maybe it's caffeine, or maybe it's runner's adrenaline, just like whatever your frequency is that you operate in flow on. This other, whoever is on the other side of this wall that you have created, this shell, this cocoon of grace, everything else that is not worthy, you just can't get in. And now they can't see you. It used to be your chrysalis was clear and they could see through too, and they could watch and feed and live vicariously and be involved and have you as part of their Truman Show. Even that has become opaque. And now they're fearful because they know the next thing that's going to happen is your emergence. And for them, it will be the emergency. The Omega, and again the unicorn, and the unicorn rises. It is the unicorn in full light and glory. Victory, your desire is coming to fruition. Keep up the good work. The Omega gives us confirmation through the middle to stay in that mysterious mode. Stay in flow, because they can't touch you. They can't touch you. And you are protected by Archangel Uriel in this flow. That is the archangel that watches over you when you are in creation mode, when you are in flow, when you are in the zone, when you are so zeroed in and focused that you are unfearful, untouchable. You are an insurmountable mystery. I'm Cece with Angel Radio Tarot. It is wonderful to have you here. This has been fun. I like these new cards. Get in the chat and tell me what you think. We'll use these again. I'll keep the books on the side here. And again, I just picked these up at thrifting at the my local Habitat for Humanity's Restore. The one near my place acts like kind of like an antique store too. They take a bunch of secondhand stuff, and let's see, where do we go from here? I am not ready to touch. After that, I feel like they want us, whoever this is, wants to be talking to us through astral projection. Because last night's dream session was just off the hook. That was one of a seduction of behavior. They want you to submit. They want you to come in voluntarily. This is a vampire family. You think I don't know? Do you really think I don't know what we're dealing with here? It comes in all of our... Just go down the front, A to Z, in your fiction section of your library. Whatever. Come on, man. I've read about all of them. It's all, This is a family of vampires. There's a really fun writer out of Portland. And Portland, if you ever have a chance to visit Portland, Oregon, their downtown library is amazing. It's a beautiful building, and they've got this kind of like a habit of really promoting all of their small magazines and zines and local press, and there's a big society of independent printers, and it goes along with what's that big bookstore that's downtown. It's like the biggest bookstore in the country, Powell's. So there's a big publishing culture. It's not a big writing culture so much as it's micro cultures. All these subcultures have all this representation through their own little publishings. And one of the things that the library really features too is writers that are from Portland or write about life in Portland, or that the thing is set in Portland. Their fiction section there is great like that. And there was one, I burned through this one book, and it was about a woman that got swept up in a one-nighter with some freaking rich playboy at some kind of, like, she was a caterer helper at an event, at some schmoozy event, and hooked up with this guy, and they did some crazy kinky stuff, and then she went home and went into like a freaking coma for 3 days, but then was in, like, she thought she got roofied because she was like, woke up and was eating raw meat out of the fridge and was sweating and having this really bad trip afterward, and it turned out to be, yeah, a double cross. It turned out to be like the guy she hooked up with was a vampire, was not supposed to be playing in this crowd, but went ahead and did it anyway against his family's thing. He's not supposed to be all the way out there like that, but he's a freaking playboy. I feel like this really relates to somebody here. And he ended up biting our hero, and she wasn't, it just so happens that she is from some kind of angelic bloodline. So instead of it turning her into a succubus or another vampire or another source, it ended up activating this whole immuno response in her. Well, they went and find her anyway. They go and pick her up because they're expecting her to be some kind of way. And she ends up reversing their entire family's fertility problem because they were a long line of vampires. They lived on some kind of like compound farm with grandma and a few of the couples, and none of them had been able to make babies anymore. And her presence being basically kidnapped among them. She didn't know they were vampires until we get further on in the story, and then they have to come out to her because they have to keep her. But it's so that now she's going to be like the queen of the vampires by healing all of their vampiric line of not being able to have children anymore. She got some twisted shit, but she ended up living on the farm like a commune, like a Robert Heinlein communal family. Don't shoot the messenger here. The message is received. You're not going to get any help with this. You're not sprung here. You're not freed from anything. There is still a yellow-eyed demon in play. They are not giving up. They're not taking the double-cross deal here. Something is like they didn't take the deal, and they're somebody's triggered about it. Like one side is doing this and the other side is contesting, and it's like, don't you? Okay, interesting. Right. They're arguing, they're fighting amongst each other about what? That's the argument, back and forth. What? Don't shoot me. They found out you were trying to help them. Something about how did you let them get away? And then remember who you're talking to. I'm the yellow-eyed demon. And the other person is like, I'm not falling for that crap. This was a double cross. And then it's like they flipped roles. They're trying to convince each other. These people are going to figure out they work for the same team. Because they're this short hair, vanquished. They could not get through on the astral projection last night in the dream state. They could not get you to submit or be seduced, or to do the thing you woke up this morning and went and did. They couldn't stop you. They couldn't distract you. You went out in the world anyway, or you got away from them. You just, like, they couldn't hold you through compulsion. You just got up out of your chair and walked away and did whatever the fuck you wanted. You were of the world, like worldly. Your focus was out there, not internal and fucked and They are seeing you. Oh my God, they are so triggered. They are seeing you as some kind of fucking deviant energy. In a winter, like that you are like a winter soldier, and they are freaking the fuck out now. Now they are freaking the fuck out. Who the fuck is this? Is what they're saying to each other. Who the fuck did you bring in my house? What the hell is this? What the hell is this that we're dealing with? We just threw all of the top level we got and that's our biggest one. And they sent a psychic attack after you, and it broke their mind. The blowback fucked whoever they got to do it. Broke their minds. So they went and got somebody, or they had a mental weapon. They had a psychological weapon here. And they played it. And you were some kind of fucking deviant winter soldier. And they fired at you, but it hit back at them, right? Because you didn't pick it up. So whoever they had that was going, they go, okay, what do you want me to do to her? Okay. What? Where's she going? All right, let me think about it. Okay. The where? Got it. Okay. I can see her. Yeah, okay. What do you want me to tell her to do? Okay. And they did it. And man, this is their biggest brain they've got. This is the biggest brain they've ever met. They thought this 4141, 5-5. We are motivated now. They were motivated. They were sure. They got the biggest brain they could find. And when this blew back, he's on the floor drooling now. They're going to have to feed him soft foods for the rest of his life. They're pretty sure they're going to be having to change an adult diaper on a 40-year-old man for the rest of his life. This blowback turned this mental assassin into a vegetable. Melted their fucking brains is what it did. They had somebody come in and astral project on you last night with a heavy seduction. That's why it wore the costume of Tom Cruise. That's why it wore a celebrity's outfit, because they couldn't come to you on their own, because they weren't coming for their own. They were coming because they were hired. So they pulled their package because they couldn't have you knowing who it was coming from. Because that person, the person sending the thing, doing the has their routine they do. Has their setup. Okay, how old is she? Okay, well, who is the hottest guy when she was like how old? Right? Like, who was the teen heartthrob when? Or who was the hottest guy when she was, like, who was the sexiest man alive in 1995? Okay. And then they try to, it's Inception. Oh, mind blown. Take a beat. I just got sucked into a real life Inception. This is that MK Ultra shit, man. This is that MK Ultra shit. That's why the big brain melt. Bring the big dogs. You think you're gonna whoop up like a bunch of wolves and take this little Red Riding Hood? Sorry, guys. I don't know how powerful I am. Well, I've never had anybody pull my hair before. Don't stand in the threshold. Somebody's standing in the threshold here. Somebody was standing in the threshold when you broke down. You think I didn't see that either? I turned around and looked right at you. Yep. Yeah. You see this face? This smile? Is this the smile you all know and love? Yeah. This is the smile. This is the smile of somebody figuring out just exactly what went down. Somebody's trying to soothe themselves. This is the smile that preempts the word motherfucker, because you have your mouth already prompted. Motherfuckers. Somebody's got their poker face. You're wearing your poker face because you're realizing that you're still being watched. Well, that's nothing new. That wasn't going to change anytime soon. We don't live in a vacuum, folks. People watch you live your life. People watch you where you don't go and do. There are people doing to you, trapdoor, just exactly what we do to them. Okay, somebody's just gotten scapegoated. Scapegoated. Somebody won an escape out a back door. They thought they were going to get this brown-eyed person trapped, dropped through a trap door, but there was a win took place. They were assisted. Somebody from the inside that decided to stick around helped them get out, and nobody can find them now. They're looking for them right now. They're looking up, realizing there is loss and heartache. Yo, mama. Yo, mama. Somebody's feeling guilty. Somebody is guilty. Somebody just got busted. Slipping out the back door to go see your mama. Yeah. Somebody just got busted slipping out the back door to see somebody else's mama. Guilty. Who's that? Yeah. Keep it to yourself. Madness. Something about autumn. I wasn't going to mention her name. Message received. Hi, Autumn. A little bit more in, let's get in here. What's that? Yeah. It's just going to be, I'm getting downloads. Oh, you want to see my spider bite? I got walloped the other day. I got walloped. My whole shoulder is still discolored. But I didn't get one of those rings around it. I had to go to the neighbor and ask him what the heck that looked like. But it still turned colors. You like my pipes? Let's see. Someone with black hair sees you. Yeah, I saw you too. Not waiting for an answer? Because you're losing your fucking hair. You're, whoever this is, there was an agent that wants to make another round in your circle there and give you a heads up. Someone from your past was an agent of another op. Someone got involved in your personal life. Very involved with your personal life. Oh, you know, when my ex walked through the front door, maybe the third or fourth time, we'd come back around, bouncing off of each other. I'm like, the breakup, the comeback, and the breakup, and the comeback. Just like, not date for 3 months, and then, hey, what's going on? Hook up and date for 6 months, and drop off the face of the earth for 3 or 4 months or a year. About the third time he'd come back around, he popped off with one of those little red flags. You just Doesn't make any sense at the time, but boy, years later you go, that never went away. It was just an unchecked box. He says to me walking in my front door, boy, this is a lot easier that you don't have any family or kids around. Normalize talking down to people that play in your face. Throat chakra, talking truth here. And he wondered why I never really turned into just a lovey-dovey, submissive little kitten. This is because those little freaking statements, people, it's not like you didn't tell me exactly who the fuck you were. So don't get mad when I match your energy. Don't get butthurt when I match your energy and treat you like I met you on Tinder. Yeah, this Dusty trying to manifest some shit. He's in a fugue state of anxiety. Look at this shit. It's just Dusty that's looking at you, watching, going, oh, what? You're just jealous. Just jealous. Trying to be a player and you ain't got no game. Don't get all butthurt when somebody takes your shoes. And I never for a second believed you were man enough to walk them shoes off of your own feet. There was a double cross in an effort to struggle free and clear of something. Somebody did a dump and run. It's not a new story. Did somebody just fucking lied is all. They just fucking lied. Like, that's all. There's no cleverness to it. There's no scheme. There's no cloak and dagger. You're just a liar. Normalize talking down to people that are playing in your face. Don't go and tell your girlfriends everything that your man is doing wrong. You stand there and let him have it. Tell the person that needs to fucking hear it. Look, whatever your fucking name is, dude man, aren't you a little old for that? Don't save it up and tell your girlfriends. Matter of fact, you know what? Do the trial run on all your girlfriends. Do the, and he's standing there, he gonna tell me, Do all that as a fucking rehearsal. But save it up knowing you're going to give it to him. And you're doing it just to get it right first time. Boy, the best fucking quote I've heard all week. Menopausal cop show. It's like an Aussie, Australia, or whatever. This chick's 5'4", 200 pounds, and she's playing a murder cop. 6-foot dude walks in with a big old fucking mustache. Fucking ginger. Wanted to talk, is this the suspect board? And man, this line fucking laid me out. I don't understand. Shit, it was something about understanding the motives of a murderer. And she says, I understand the desire to murder on such a deep cellular level. It scares me and it should make your piss run ice cold. Somebody thought you were a fucking fool. And I'll tell them somebody's the same thing I told the ex. Oh, you just like everybody else. You think I'm so easily confused. And you just smile. And you let them figure out what the fuck that means. You gotta get mean. You gotta get mean for yourself. So this Dusty can't get it up anymore. He's totally freaked out about it. He's trying everything he can. He's jealous as fuck. And he's crying and he can't get your blue eyes out of his mind. Giving up he's just dying inside. Oh. As per our last couple of readings, I am completely okay. Say it with me now. I am completely okay letting someone else go back to being a stranger. I can admit I dated down. It happens. Somebody doesn't like how you flex. But they're taking you off the hit list, man. They can't compete. They got nothing. They're looking at it going, that bitch. And they got nothing. That's as far as they can fucking take it. That bitch. But it gets them like that. That's as far as they can fucking take it. They don't have anything else. All they can do is say, that bitch. Yeah. If that's what you need to call me. Knock yourself out. Bye. Somebody just pulled the hoodie up. You just pulled the hoodie back up over your head and went back about your business. You're in your heart chakra, man. You're in your energy. You're in your flow state. Nothing can touch you. Haters can't make you hate. Haters can't make you hate. That's got to drive them up the fucking wall. Love it. Haters can't make me hate. You can't suck the life out of me, motherfuckers. I'm 53 years old. Y'all think I got a problem holding it down? Come on, man. Look at what it does to you when you don't let it hate you. When you don't let them hate you. When you don't let them trash you down. Those people sit down and watch TV after 5 o'clock and go to bed at 10 and can't breathe. You got to live that life, baby. You got to live it. Manifest. It's like you almost got to manifest their tears. Make them sorry they knew you. Be so fucking incredible. Make them sorry they know you. Somebody with black hair. And they knew you with all this whenever they got with you the first time or when they tried to step up to you. They thought they were wise. They thought they knew what they were doing. This person with black hair. You ain't got no more black hair, do you? The only black hair this person has left is coming out of their butt. They are in a fugue state of anxiety. Yeah, they know they're talking smoke out of their ass. They know they don't have it. They know they never did. And now that they're past the peaks of their lives or the peak of their energy or the peak of their vitality, that's what this is, honey. That's what this is. This is all natural vitality, baby. This is straight up grade 100% positivity. Allow me to encourage you. You want to be alive? Shake this shit off. You cannot let these people in your world. You cannot let these people anywhere fucking near you. These are the laziest human beings in current existence. These are the laziest people. These people literally want to lay on the couch and be nipple-fed crushed nachos for breakfast. Nothing wrong with nachos. I'm talking like Fritos, like Cheetos, like, Doritos. Just want to be fed trash. Just pump in the synthetic whatever it is. Just might as well just roll these people up to a gas station and just stick the nozzle right in their lip. Someone is jealous that they can't take the shot. Man, there's nothing stopping you but air. Can't nobody get you in trouble if you're following the law, if you're following righteousness, if you're moving in your godly flow. Can't nobody get you in trouble. It will always come down on the right. It will always come down right. Because you're not moving in your own energy. You're moving where you're saying, where you want me to be. Holy Spirit, where do you want me to go? Where are we going? I know you're going to put me wherever I need to be. I would prefer to enjoy the ride along. Give me a heads up. What are we doing? Whatever it is, I'm here for it. Put me where you need me to be. I'm going to wake up today. You want me to get out of bed? All right. Let's go. It's a beautiful way to be absolutely present at all times. To not attach yourself. There's no excuse for it either. If you are perfectly submitted to the will of the Holy Spirit, you got yourself out of the way. Your mama, talking to your mama, holla, testify. Can I get a witness? Get in the chat room. There's this, when I've said it many times before, when you are not managing your own mind, somebody else will. That's not what we're talking about. My mind is absolutely focused to making myself available to observing what direction I am about to be asked to step. It won't always be coming from the Holy Spirit. That's why you can't just let go and let God. That's why you can't just release the reins. You have been blessed with all of this power. Don't just lay it down at the feet of something and just go, ooh. Ooh. You are responsible, and it is prescribed. You are responsible for being a good steward of the resources that are handed to you and turn them into blessings. Multiply them into blessings. You have a moral obligation to be the next sainthood, in whatever that is. That doesn't mean go and mock a saint and try to pretend being a saint. It means knowing enough about your moral compass, knowing enough, deciding enough about right and wrong, always living on the side of righteousness, always living on the side of moral rectitude, bullseye, and always making yourself available to making the right, good, and just choice. And you can't go wrong if you are always resting in moral correctness. But if you don't know what that is, get a damn Bible. Come on, y'all been around. And I don't want to play games with somebody that's watching and going to be commenting about, oh, well, it's all splitting hairs and stuff like that. If it's splitting hairs, then you know where the line is. Don't talk backward to me. We talk square here, or we don't talk at all. Because if you're not talking square, then you're lying through your teeth. Bullseye. It's about critical honesty, folks. Bullseye. Someone is guilty for watching you. You are more gentle and worldly than they could imagine. Something has sprung. There's a brown-eyed person that is triggered, and they are trapped, having to hear their own thoughts, and it's turning their hair white in a bad way. Someone is having to come to the forefront. This bullseye hit him like a smack on the forehead about this critical honesty. They can't lie to themselves. That's all part of the chakra meditation too. You can't get free of your illusions until you quit lying to yourself. Let's see. I'm sorry that it always comes down to fear. But being afraid has nothing to do with being brave. Being afraid is a confusion about being concerned for your survival. Now, if you're just concerned about your survival, you know how to deal with that. You can address that. But this fear, the fantasy, is your function starts in the tail of your spine, the tail of your consciousness, the tail end of that root of your brain that goes all the way down. It is juxtaposed between fantasy and pragmatism. And until you can tell the difference, between this fantasy of fear and the reality of what the concerns are for your survival, you're living in a twisty toddler's nightmare. Somebody that is in a great state of authority, presence, public exposure, high profile, politically connected, big money, somebody way the fuck high up. Too many of them are still seated playing poker face while they are in their root chakra, tumbling like a toddler in a nightmare. Torments. They are tormented by childish fears, tormented by childish fantasy fears. They're fantasies. These people have all of this power and all of this control over the lives of others. And they're afraid of them. They're afraid to be in the dark. They're afraid to be home alone. You ever met a 60-year-old man that's afraid to be home alone? Too many of them. Somebody is just laid out by that, just vanquished. Somebody just vanquished that singular fear by being able to identify. That is the key principle in addressing your root chakra. Identify the root cause of your suffering. It is the basis of Buddhist meditation. Identify the root cause of your suffering and then work toward its cessation. It's that simple. Identifying the root cause of suffering is often the first step we take before even recognizing that we're in pain, because that pain is just, we're blind to it. We condition ourselves to it until we can't take any more. But a split of ego is happening because this child is crying out bodily pain just to sit through an 8-hour shift at work, bodily pain just to get out of bed in the morning. You gotta get to work. Bodily pain just to sit down, and then bodily pain to get back up. When's the last time you sat on the floor? You don't even know you're in pain. What's wildly devastating to this blue-eyed brain right here, I can't even get close to it. I can't get close to it. Somebody is in tears because they're, for the first time, hearing their body cry. The other facet of Buddhist meditation is suffering does not occur until the conscious mind recognizes that it could have been another way. You don't have to be in pain. You don't have to be miserable. You don't have to be afraid. No, it's true. It's true, and no, it's really true. There is a place just ahead without want or need or fear. Someone's being told just to wait for it. there's still a deviant something in the mix here. And that, you know, when you're trying all to do the right things and start addressing your life about what kind of negative spiritual influences are working in your world, and then get, you know, if you're doing everything physically right, financially right, legally right, and you're still not getting it, then you need to get in the only other area that you haven't yet, and that's to get your spirit right. Start addressing what kind of negative influences are working in your life. Get down to the enigmatic. Start taking it personally when something affects you rudely. Start taking it personally when moral judgments are gray. Do you know who's watching moral judgments right now and building their own? Particularly around the Epstein files. The kids. The kids are watching every single grown-up to see what their face does when we talk about the Epstein files. And they're categorizing each and every one of us for whether or not we're safe, based strictly on how we respond to the mention of the Epstein files. That's critical honesty. That's critical honesty. The way those children are uptaking what they know about us is truth. We don't live in a vacuum, baby. Everybody sees you living your life. Everybody sees you living your life. And they know who you are. And they know if you're safe. And the kids talk, and they know which grandpa not to let so-and-so go alone in the car with. And that's stories from people that were, people that are my grandparents' age were talking about when they were kids. Oh no, you know you don't get in a car with grandpa. We'll say it again, folks. I don't want to get on a big bender. I don't want to get on a big bender here about that. Wisdom of the heart. Somebody is just not listening to their heart here. Somebody hasn't been listening to their heart. And you can only say that when you realize that you haven't been listening to your heart. Understand that you are at a crest, a turning point, a fork in the road. Because just recognizing that isn't enough. You're being given an opportunity to go back into it, to what you were doing, and see if it's still if you can keep going a little longer, or you can do it differently. The journey within here is the differently. So we've got the what you were doing before simply was not working. And you're being prompted to do better. Whatever that looks like, whatever facet of your life that you want to try that on. But the focus is about activating your brain to create something better for yourself. Just on the tiniest little measure. Exercise some tiny little bit of discipline in something in your life. It doesn't have to be, I'm going to give up my coffee for the rest of the year. No, it means that what are you lollygagging somewhere on the way to work because you don't want to go to work because you hate your job? Well, is that telling you that you should maybe change your job? If that's too big, change your route to work. If you absolutely have to go to that job, cut a half an hour before you go to work so that you can make the long way where it's a prettier drive, where you can take the pressure off of having to get there on time. Change your routine. Change some, like, are you flossing? Take up flossing. It's a little thing, but it's something so intimate that it will change how you observe yourself. It'll change your relationship with how you live your experience. Take some measure of control. Don't have to reorganize your closet. But just put all the shirts on the left today and see how long can you keep all the shirts on the left until you start to live a life where all your shirts are on the left, right where you like them, right where you know they'll be. Put the cap back on. Just that one, but make that the little bit better part of your life. All right, we're at the top of the hour. Oh yeah, we're at the top of the hour, man. Let's see what's going on with our High Vibe Tribe. Thank you for all the jewels and all the fun, the stickers. Oh gosh, look at that. Just a quick. Yo, lovers, hit the love button. That's right. Hey, to stop creeping. That's right. That's right. Over there or over there? Let's see. Okay. Thank you for the flowers. Look at that. Right? You never know. You never know. The current and true feelings. I'm not doing love readings. You guys, you want me to do the hard work for you. Collect your nerve and go ask yourself. Isn't that the most wonderful way to find out? Hi, Annette. Jenny Glass, Nicole, Pablo, Walandi, Bethany Bonk, always so faithful, Pacific Chameleon, hi. I gotta just do the other glass. I'm in transition right now. Like I'm in between sizes. Flower Girl and Crystal Nines, hi. And I'm Serene. Hi. Hi. Wonderful to have you here. Uni 38. I got to look at that and see what you're trying to say with your handle there. This is so much fun. And it's KNet Universe. Hi. And who is the first one to chat? Way up there. Is it Elise or Ellis? 4756. What a great crowd. Curtis Clayton, what's up? What's up? That 420 chat, that's right. That's right. Oh, I don't know if I can bubble on screen or not. Yeah. Here we go. All right. I got to clean it up. Can't be so spicy. All right. So, yeah, I'm not doing any romance readings, darlings. But if you want to throw your question up in the chat right now, and we'll get your question answered. I think you can. I think you have. Oh, I can wait. Let's see. We got one more deck to go through. I've got actually our old homeschool deck here. We are elevating with harmony here for the destruction of some kind of demonic fantasy from Ilbis. Look at that. We're doing Tuesdays, and who's behind it? Finally satisfied some dark energy. Oh my God, we closed that cycle, didn't we? They've stopped being overbearing and intrusive and have decided that they're everything that they need, and they're going to go back and mind their own business now. Does this mean we're avoiding confrontation? Because I would really like for this person to just go the fuck away. But it says harmony, so it looks like everybody is having, on the nose. Fuck. Yeah, some darkness has been destroyed around this. So I really don't want to deal with this person, but we've got to close that cycle. And it looks like, oh, this person was the one that came to sacrifice you. That's why it's so irritating that they're coming back around. But this spell has been broken. They don't have any control over you. They never did. The one that thinks they had control over me just got snarky on the phone and said, well, if I came to your town and told you to take all your clothes off, do you think you could tell me no? And I was like playing around and said, no. Come on. Come on. Talking smack on the phone is not romance. I am everything I need, and I can stop being overbearing now. They finally get it. Whoever this person is that's got to come to you with this kind of confession, that they think they're going to reconcile. But on your end, you're just like, just tell me what the fuck happened so we can get on with this. Because I'm done. There's no making up. And that's what this person has had to process. Before they could come to you, they had to accept the fact that they had to come to you to apologize as a gift, a submission of wrongdoing. Not an admission. You both know they fucked you over. You don't need to narrate that for them. Normalize talking down to people who have tried to play in your face. They don't need to be coming to me asking for forgiveness. They need to be talking to God. And praise fucking be, I am not their maker. It's a social obligation here. Again, we can't close this cycle. They can't get this cycle out. Thank you for the sticker. They can't close this out until they've gone through this admonition. So Spirit is having to use you to purify this son of a bitch. But it doesn't have anything to do with you anymore. You're free and clear of this. But part of grace bringing you here is that now you have to play the doting authority and pat these fuckers on the head. That you even have to touch them is kind of yuck. It's Capricorn energy. You want to be very hands off with this anyway. Let them walk away from you wishing they could have done more. Do you understand what it means to be on the other side? To be in the position of authority, you have to be comfortable with leaving people in that awkwardness that you relate to authority with. Let them feel their station. That is your job. We're talking about moral authority here. This flip the switch. No, honey, and there's no forgiveness for this. This is remarkably unforgivable. And I'm okay with that. It's not about consequences. It's about, this is the law of love. Once they cheat, you don't ever go back. That kind of stuff. Once they fuck you over on an intimate level, you don't ever get that kind of access again. You already had access to that, and look at what you did with that. No, I'm not a learning curve. Normalize talking down to people that play in your face. I'm not a learning curve. Keep that over there. I grew up with the abusive idea of family is who God gives you so you can practice being people on. Well, I don't live at home anymore. Keep that shit over there. It just means you don't know how to do shit and somebody let you out through the bunghole before you were ripe. Keep that shit over there. This is not an exercise. You are in full demon combat. You have got to make these motherfuckers feel stupid just to take control of the conversation. You've got to set them on their heels. You've got to set them on their heels. That's the only thing they know. I want you, we're not manifesting here. This is just how it is. It doesn't take manifesting. It takes Dixie Carter from Designing Women in 2.5 minutes of let me tell you, motherfucker. And you notice she hardly had any speaking lines in that show. But when they let her rip, she would cuss a blue streak up one side and down the other without ever saying a swear word. Sister girl, you want to know how to be a queen. You want to know how every drag queen in Atlanta learned how to walk that walk, baby. Watching freaking Dixie Carter on Gold, but designing women. Keep your mouth shut and your eyes open. And when the moment comes for you to lay down the fucking law, you are the fucking law. And it don't take nothing, but baby, if I need to tell you like that, wake the fuck up. And you do it with style. Because you shut that shit down. Boom, we don't do that here. Normalize talking down to people who are playing in your face. It is about dignity and the pride of grace. Every time you let some fool talk shit on you, or talk smack, or don't stand up for yourself when somebody's being all up in the business, and I'm not talking about being confrontational, I'm talking about standing up for yourself and being an advocate for people that are lesser, who are being beat down, who don't deserve it. Every time you don't pick up that stick and say, you said what to her? It's time to transmute, baby. Because if you don't, you allow it to happen to somebody else. For every time you don't stand up to somebody talking shit in your face where they don't belong, because you don't want to rough the boat, or you don't want to, you ain't getting no help from these dark motherfuckers, from these Virgos. You ain't getting no help from them. They're not there to help you. They're there to challenge you. And every time you let one of them slide, and that's what it's doing, every time you let one of them slide, they're going to go, cool, I knocked that one down, let's go get one that's a little bit harder to get to. I wonder if she's got a daughter. Believe it. This broken coven is breaking this broken coven. It's nothing but predators here. What it's going to say was it's not a broken coven, it's a full up coven. It's like somehow they transmuted that shit. These boys are out here locking it down. And they're doing it to, it's this gang stalking shit. When evil men get together to do evil business, they create a dark coven. They create predators. They start breeding predators. If you're a piece of shit and you don't know where to go get more pieces of shit, you say, oh, let's make some of our own. We can start growing them. Why don't we just grow our own? It's all deception. Heavenly angels down here breaking out private investigations, misdirections for the failure due to discovery. Lots of tears here. Oh, it's going to be these pimp pushers. They're trying to push this fuck around and find out energy. And they can't do it. They can't do it. Something about the next 24 to 48 hours. They're going to be down here on the ground where you are, kissing your ass. They are intoxicated. And it's a big win for you. This is the perfect situation. This is the most perfect setup you could imagine. What's behind it? There's some duplicity here, some duality. They're coming out. There's no stingers, and they're in the fields. They're coming to you on their knees. They are coming to you on their knees. They are exposing both sides of them. They're bringing in the full magic of the yin and yang. That's everything that they had. They are bringing it to you. They are unloading their DMs. They are coming out of the DMs. They're coming out to you with the stingers off. They're coming to you on their knees because they are so in the feels. They're going to cry at your feet and wail at your hems. The gnashing of teeth and the pulling of hair. There's a big Taurus here. It is, The Taurus was trying to be a spirit team leader here, was driving the whole thing. They are the core of your enemy is this Taurus. It was a crossroads deal, trying to flip an earth angel in your face. Trying to virtue signal playing in your face. So yeah, you got a Taurus in your life that had the middle of everything. They were kind of at the middle of everything, and it wasn't that they were directing all of this to happen, but everybody was watching how they were going to break in order to know how to come at you next. Yeah. They wanted to see how you were going to respond to this Taurus before they did anything else. Deception. The whole thing was that Taurus deception. Yeah. No shit, Dad. Dad. Dear old Dad. My dad's... Yeah. Biological, stepping back. There's no rainbow bridge for Lucifer. Yeah, there's no getting away here for dear old Dad. There's no getting away. Lucifer is trapped. Lucifer is trapped. So your biological father, for some of you, was actually creating your generational curse as a way of getting back at you for usurping their authority. And they have trapped themselves on this lifetime with this Lucifer energy. Something about like the dark Lucifer, the Satan, the forked tail, not the archangel guardian of light, but the baddie, the source of all evil in the world, is going to perish in this lifetime, or has just perished, or whoever is playing this role. Some of you, if you have had an abusive father that has been so abusive that they were creating psychic attacks or working with male covens to try to gang stalk you or to get you to behave, or get you to pay back, or get you to come under. That's the big thing, is just to get you to come under. Any adult that needs to be spanked. That kind of shit. Like, oh, she just needs to be spanked. It's a grown-ass woman. That's called assault. If you have that kind of father that has been laying off this generational curse on you, they are very close to leaving this world without being able to leave this world. They are going to perish in this lifetime as a spiritual entity. They don't get to reincarnate. They perish vanquished like a never was. They don't get any more time. And once this lifetime ends, once this life cycle ends for them, they don't get reincarnated, they don't get upgraded, they don't get to ascend, they don't get to toil, they don't get to haunt you. And they've just been made aware that it's like the Grim Reaper met them in a dream. Maybe they're starting to have deceased dreams. Maybe they're starting to have visitors from across the veil that's trying to draw them back. They probably have demons that are trying to get a good grip before they cross any threshold at all. They are being tormented by demons right now. Not demons that want them to go run and play and go capture little nimble babies and just sacrifice orphans and shit like that. I'm talking about the demons that have come for their pay because this Taurus was not able to bring you down. They're coming for their due. They're coming to drag him down to hell. And he's dreaming about that, which means he's getting very close to death. So we've got the Queen of Cups upright and the Queen of Wands down. Emotional stability, empathy, nurturing, faced off with a lack of leadership, coldness, insecurity. Insecurity being another one. This is the two of you. Here's our Taurus, our masculine authority. And here's you, seated in so nonchalant, like not, it's like barking at a deaf cat. It's just, you're nonplussed by this person's anguish. It's role-playing to you. They look like they're acting out. It is just, to you, you see them doing this, and it just seems like a temper tantrum. This is all, they're going to be peeking out to see if you see them crying. This is like a 3-year-old rolling around on the floor until you say, anybody want some cookies? I guarantee you, if this is a sexual stalker, as soon as you say, you know, maybe we should, they're going to change their tune and be like, what? Yeah, they're fine as long as they're getting exactly what they want. Everybody's a perfect little princess as long as, and that's what this is. This is a male energy who is a fucking princess. I mean, I have heard of men telling women on dates, I am accustomed to being spoiled. Means you're a bitch. Bitch. Sorry. Be offended. Bitch. Kind of a bitch. You need to get yo bitch on a leash is what needs to happen. Thank you. There's fairness and truth wrapped up in nostalgia here. I almost don't even want to read this because it's all the drama of them trying to justify. But when we were, and don't you remember when, and you used to think I was so, no, I was waiting for you to get cool, man, and you just kept getting more and more fucking weird. You just kept getting more and more fucking creepy. All of this is turned down. Greedy, blocked emotions, codependency. What a douchebag. And that's the thing, is just like, no. This person litters, like out their car. Ew. They want all the action, and they want like the destiny and divine timing. What they want is to take action on your destiny. They want to hide in your life. I have said this about my gang stalker for decades. And yes, it's been like 30 fucking years. It's a scary thing, ladies, when the nerd you reject in your 20s ends up coming into money, into the millions. And then has friends like, oh my God, I can't go into the next town over from me because the mayor over there asked me out and then stood me up and ghosted me and then played in my face 2 days later. And then I said, that's okay. I saw you leaving the cafe Monday morning, running away from me like a bitch out the front door when I was coming in the back. So no hard feelings. I got to laugh my ass off. Well, it turns out he's the fucking mayor, and now I can't go over there because there's some guy that got butthurt about standing me up. It's just fucking people. Spoiled little bitches. Deception and confusion here. So they want all this action. They want all of this. Yeah, man, yeah. And it's all just bullshit. So don't think for a second that that little mayor isn't friends with my freaking millionaire gang stalker now that we're all 50 and everybody's made bank on wherever. Yeah. This ain't no freaking... What is that one with the... Who is that? Robert Redford. The Great Gatsby. Yeah, somebody here that is like obsessed with you is like has this fantasy about you being all of the little heroines and all of this nostalgic early American literature. All of their literature, all of their favorite books, all of the shit they've ever been exposed to. You are the representation of woman or of man for them. And every time they have like it's, I don't want to say like, oh, you're God's gift or whatever. It's not like that. It's like they are locked in because you don't have to be a real person to them. You're such a fantasy at this point. Like they have lived their lives with a version of you that has nothing to do with you. And you know they're going to be mad when you don't act like they think you're going to act. You know they are. It's going to confuse them. Resistance to change and responsibility here. The whole reason you're dealing with people that are outside of your life like this is because they don't have any place in your life. And they never did, or they would have. They either weren't willing to create the circumstance, or they weren't brave enough. That's what it really comes down to, is you simply weren't enough motivation for them to make the changes that they needed to be the kind of person that you needed them to be with you. I couldn't say that again if I tried. That's really just... They're so confused, and they have assigned you bodily to a fantasy person in their mind. You're famous, is what it is. You're famous. You're famous to one, but it's that same dangerous kind of fame. Some of you, unfortunately, may not just be famous to one. If you were getting the unicorn card earlier, you have become infamous among a certain... I mean, it has to be far enough away from you that it's a group of people that strictly fantasize about you but are close enough to see you regularly, so they are repeatedly stimulated by your presence. They just can't leave you alone. Every time they run into you, every time they see you somewhere, every time they hear your name, it's enough to keep the story going in their mind. And then after a while, it doesn't even have to be someone externally mentioning you. When it becomes dangerous is when everything internally about their life reminds them of you. For no reason at all, no psychic connection at all. They start generating that whole entire exchange from one side. Willpower and laziness are the opposites of the same. So they're locked up. That's why you get this stalking energy, because they'll rush toward you, and then they'll rush toward you in your life, and then they'll... This is a coward. This is a coward. Being able to come to you isn't brave. This is a coward. All right. Good afternoon. Ronald, I'll give you a reading. You're the first one to ask for it. So this will be Ronald's read, just for a flat out non-relationship, general. Ronald, let me pin you here, Ron. Ronald? Good afternoon to you too. Nurturing and practicality with some choices. So there is a very positive, abundant, supportive, slightly sexy, resilient energy around you. You're very attractive. I'll just say this on here. Through the cards, you're a very attractive human being. People think that you are attractive. Ronald's not your real name, is it? Are you visiting under an assumed handle, Ronald TG666? Aren't you cute? Oh, there is an eagerness to break free from some kind of self-doubt, self-neglect. You're seeing new opportunities after a period of being frustrated with stagnation. With feeling cowardly, not necessarily being cowardly, but only in procrastination. Yeah, impatience, neglect, lack of growth, and then self-doubt in the middle. Wanting to break free from that. Yeah, you've got movement right here. Here's the Chariot. You're going to be breaking free from this period of stagnation and self-doubt. You're not happy with this anymore. There's just too much frustration involved. You're not getting anywhere. You're really not happy with it. The motivation is coming from dissatisfaction. New beginnings right here. I really love this for you, Ronald. New beginnings here. It's a very positive change. And it's coming bracketed around this. You're kind of wrapping this up. All right, I'm done with this. Let's do something else. I've got, like, you're drying out. It's like you're drying out for a season. You know, you stop smoking, stop drinking, just kind of let the body balance back out. There's some kind of, you're taking a hit on some money, but you're coming into a better harmony. Better partnership with yourself, I think. You may have had to even cut somebody off or cut yourself off, taking the hit on a disinheritance in order to live the life you intend to live. There was a scent of greed and materialism, but it's not you. It was the mood around you. If anything, I see you being greedy with yourself right now. There's some question about your ambition, but you're like, look, don't. You have no problem getting shit done. God, the world is yours. Look at these cards, are wonderful. You're being reminded that you can go and do whatever the fuck you want. You're having to remind someone that you can go and do whatever the fuck you want. And here's the greed card again. It is being greedy toward yourself. You're gonna find yourself reminding someone, actually. So you might want to think that again. Actually. There's some correctingness, correctedness. Like at first you were negotiating a balanced exit, and this person was like, well, it's not like you're ever gonna. And you're like, oh, really? Well, why don't you hold my beer as I walk out the fucking door? Disagreement here. Yeah, just a total disagreement. They think you're being greedy for something else. Like you're holding out for more money. No, you really fucking mean it. You will do whatever it fucking takes. What was that hiding? Aha. Your hidden wisdom here. You're making absolutely the right choice. You were absolutely spot on. I could not come up with a better confirmation for you to be quietly moving right the fuck out the door anyway. You know exactly what you're doing. You don't need these people's approval. I don't need to even be telling you this. This is just an external observation of I'm watching you have no trouble at all with this ultimatum. Please don't throw me in the briar patch. It will make it so much easier to leave you. Tell me more about how small you think I am. Normalize talking down to people who are playing in your face. They simply don't understand what leadership looks like. There's a lack of leadership here because they have no idea what leadership is supposed to look like. You were leading them the whole time. You're leading yourself out the fucking door now. And this wouldn't be happening if they had fucking come along when they had been invited. But no, they wanted to do some kind of weird, I got one on you now. I've got something on you now. I'm going to hold this over your head. What do you think about that? Well, let me tell you what I think about that. Bye. All right. Well, thank you for your inquiry there, Ronald. You've got no trouble with this. You're very welcome. I hope it resonated with you. Well, Nicole, I'm very glad that you asked, but you're going to have to catch for another reading today, unless, of course, you can pop in a $40 super chat, and we'll get you 20 minutes of a dedicated read right here. Let me know if that's an option for you, Nicole, and I'll stick around for just a few minutes here while we tidy up. I'll let you know, but I think this is going to be the end of our reading. Waiting for anything else for us, Spirit, before we close out. Anything else? Let's get in the numbers. All right. Let's get in the numbers. And I know not everybody can do that $40 super chat, so that's why I offer at least one free question at the end of every live read. So there's a hard no for somebody. I understand, Nicole. It is a it's a sacrifice for some. I understand. I don't want you to have to be embarrassed. I don't want anybody to ever be embarrassed. A soft 6 here. There's some feels about not having access just strictly based on money, but it's an opportunity for fairness for everyone. Let's move right out of here. What else do we have, Spirit? 3. Side 3. Brackets. Somebody's covered. Somebody feels okay. It's okay. I'm curious what this is in American Sign Language. If anyone has ASL, what kind of a bracketing like that besides this, whatever bracketing would be. Again, there's a negative eating here. 11112, got it. Someone is resisting some change. It's not resentment. You're welcome, Nicole. It's not resentment here. Someone is adjusting to grace. A down to what? It's just down to a little bit. Down to just a few moments now. Not quite yet. A few more minutes here. Yeah, one more. And that's, yeah, okay. Well, if you're not yet a member, consider a membership today, and definitely subscribe, but hit that notification bell so you know when I'm coming up next. Try to give you guys about 15-20 minute heads up. I got a little bit better about it today, but I don't do real good about a sense of time. So thanks for hanging in with me with that 3 minutes coming in tardy. We are leaving you centered on the one. You are the center of your universe. When your light goes out, everybody else goes away. So Be careful and grateful with this beautiful existence you have here today. Thank you for letting me be a part of it. Thank you for joining us, and come back soon again to Angel Radio Tarot. Take care, folks. Bye-bye.